guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do an update or part 4 to a very popular story that began darn close to 1 year ago, which is titled, "While in bed, my wife hypothetically asked about open marriage, so I factually demanded divorce." And guys, as a recap, because this story has been going on for darn near a year, it's all about the guy over in the UK, a father and husband. He's about 53, I think, at this point. Thought he had a good marriage. We've all heard that. And one day, out of nowhere, I think he's watching TV with his wife, and she started bringing up the idea about, hypothetically, of course, an open marriage. And to no surprise, obviously there were things going on behind the scenes with her and some other dude, as this usually goes. And the husband here was no fool. And let me tell you, that was it. It was over. And to no surprise, she didn't take that too well. As if you guys watched the videos and all that, obviously there was a lot of drama and crying and whining and all that crap, and it's been a tough year for him. Fortunately, both his children, his adult children, his son and his daughter, are totally on his side. They are fiercely loyal to dad, and let me tell you, the daughter verbally opened a whole can of whoop ass on the mom in part 2. And now we're hearing in part 4 here what's going on, because the daughter's about to get married, and the previous video, the mom wanted to go to the wedding, and they're like, no, we don't want you there. You know, the son has nothing to do with her, and the daughter has something to do with her on the basis that she lets the dad here heal, doesn't show up to the wedding. So we're going to continue on here, what's going on with this guy. And again, this guy's gone through a tough time, but he's finally moving on, which is awesome, which shows all you guys out there that if you are going through a divorce, it will get better. You can get through this and move on, but you can't stay with someone that treats you as his wife did it to him. So he says here, "Hi SSM. This is an update on my daughter's wedding and a little bit on the ex-wife and my now comfortable life in Cornwall. So as you know, my daughter was getting married in the summertime. She had everything arranged with her boyfriend's mother and my daughter-in-law's son's wife. My ex-wife was not invited as my daughter was ashamed of her after what happened at the charity shop that she worked at with a guy named Tom. Also, my son and his wife and my lovely granddaughter would not attend if his mother was present." Whew. Yeah, this family showed no mercy to her. "Well, the wedding date arrived, and I was concerned that the ex-wife would show up and spoil my daughter's day. I was already suited and booted and had my son and my granddaughter with me as his wife was with my daughter getting ready for her wedding day. My son had come over to pick me up to go to his house where my daughter was getting ready for her big day. My son was watching how nervous I was and asked, why so nervous, Dad? Well, you're nervous because you don't want your ex to show up and ruin everything. Even though you all made abundantly clear, don't show up. Because you all recall, he was pretty certain she would and wreak havoc. So I told him I was worried that his mom would spoil his sister's day and that I didn't want that to happen. He gave me a hug and said, 'Dad, don't worry about it,' and told his wife had bumped into his mom at the supermarket some days ago and she approached her while shopping. He said his wife stood there, looked at her directly in the eyes, and asked what she wanted. My ex-wife was full of tears, and she said she was so sorry that she had broken up the family, to which my son's wife replied, 'The family is fine. It's as loving as it always has been. The only difference is you're no longer welcome in the family as a cheating wife and mother.'" Ouch. Damn. This is from this guy's son's wife, not his daughter. God damn. And then as you added, you discussed me and all the BS that you fed me while I was pregnant with my daughter about loyalty and loving family while working at the charity shop, being disloyal to my husband's father. She said, "Do you have any idea what you did to your son? His trust in you was destroyed along with his love for you, and he will never forgive you, and neither will I, for the hurt I saw in his eyes for weeks afterwards. I've never seen him so angry in all the time I have known him." Man, I gotta tell you, the women in this story, except for the ex-wife, are quite loyal to their men. That's how it should be, you know? And obviously these guys both deserve it, and they've earned it. The ex-wife then says she's sorry, with tears again, changing the subject, asking about her daughter's wedding. To which his wife said, "Yes, it will be a wonderful day, and she's happy, but I warn you now, do not show up. And if you spoil her day knowing you're not invited, I will slap you myself in front of everyone for disrespecting your daughter's wishes." Well, some of you might think, damn, this is harsh. Well, the ex-wife really dug herself a deep hole with everybody, you know? "She does not want you there, and you should respect her wishes. Also, my husband, Your son does not want to see you there either. So for once, think of your daughter on her special day and leave her in peace to enjoy it, and state that she caused this whole situation with her lies and cheating. And then the daughter walked out from her saying that it's your chance to show some respect to your daughter. Yeah, if this ex-wife wants to rebuild anything with the daughter, she's going to respect her wishes not showing up at the wedding. So let's see what happens here. I was kind of stunned at what my son was telling me and asked how long ago this was. He said it was 4 days ago, so don't worry about it. She was straight talking with Mum, and she left her in tears with a parting shot that this situation was all her fault and walked away. It is the ex-wife's fault. You know? This is why I say in all these stories and videos, you know, these wives that do this, that, you know, it isn't just to the husbands, it's also to the family. And when husbands cheat on their wives, he's doing it to the kids as well. Let me make that clear. Goes both ways. I was thinking, wow, I hope the wedding does not turn into a nightmare. He then said to me, Dad, we are all here for you, and gave me a hug and said, enjoy the day as you are a family. Great. So we arrive at the son's house, and I see my daughter ready and waiting for her wedding car to arrive. Wow. When you see your daughter in her wedding dress, it takes your breath away. She said, well, Dad, what do you think? She gave me a twirl in her dress. I jokingly said, did you iron that? She laughed and said, I'm so glad I never left this dress with you, and laughed. You look stunning, daughter. I'm so proud of you. Great. You know, your family deserves to be happy. So the wedding car arrives, and I get back with my daughter with her beautiful dress, bringing memories of my own wedding to her mother. She looks at me and says, Daddy, thank you so much for all you've done to make my day special, and I love you so much. We get to the church, and I'm nervous as hell, looking around everywhere, thinking she better not show up. I can't blame you, man, given how your story is gone. And it's a lovely sunny day, which is not guaranteed in a UK summer. Yeah, was this an outdoor wedding or was it in a church? Because it was an outdoor wedding in the UK summer. That's a gamble. Her future husband and guests are already in the church. Okay, in the church. All right, there you go. Are already in the church, and my proudest moment is in front of me as I walk in the church, holding my daughter's arm to give her away. The bridal march is playing, and I can see everyone looking at her beautiful dress. It's just amazing. I know we're getting a lot of details here, but this guy's obviously very proud of his daughter, so we'll give it. He's earned this. Let him have his details here. I stand looking at her, feeling proud as she takes her vows and kissed her husband. After the service, we all go outside, and the photographer is waiting to take the pictures of the happy couple. There's also a man with a video camera, and the church bells are ringing, and everyone is smiling. All the pictures are taken, and we head to the hotel reception, which is laid on for her wedding. All right, time for the drinks. Time for the wedding cake. Time for the fucking Macarena on the dance floor. I don't know. Do y'all do the Macarena on the dance floor at the wedding reception? They still do that here. And no, you're not going to get me to do the fucking Macarena or the electric slide. I'll be there eating all the fucking cake. After the meal, it's the first dance of the happy couple, and she looks so happy and radiant, dancing with her husband, my now son-in-law. Then it's my turn for my daughter grabs my arm and says, Dad, you're next, and takes me to the dance floor. She holds me tight, and says, I love you. And then said, well, Mother didn't show up and spoil my day. And said, well, I think she knew better than to spoil your day. Okay, so how about that? She actually listened. Your daughter made abundantly clear in the previous videos, you better not show up. And you made it clear. She then said, I have something for you later, Dad, and told me her wedding album will be ready at 10 p.m. I said, wow, it took weeks when I married your mom. And she laughed and said, well, everything is digital now, Dad, and filmed not like in your day. The evening progressed, and later we had the toast speeches via the best man and my son, who told the normal jokes about each other. I hate wedding speeches. People are usually drunk, and they're stupid, and people tell jokes that nobody else gets. But anyhow, the only good usually speeches you get are from the parents. Everybody else, like the best man and the maid of honor, you know, they're all usually drunk, and you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Later, my son-in-law's parents came over, and we chatted, and his mom said, I know you're now divorced, but we thought your ex-wife might come today. I said, now she knew it was good for her, with a big grin. After all the wedding ended, I stayed at a hotel after having a few drinks, like a lot of guests from the wedding. My daughter was waiting when I came down in the morning with her husband as they were off to their honeymoon, and she handed me her wedding album and a USB thumb drive and said it was a video of her wedding. She kissed me and said, see you in 2 weeks, and left with a big smile on her face. Hey, hallelujah. Y'all deserved a good day with no frickin' drama. That's good. And I hope your daughter is a darn good wife and her husband's a darn good husband. Sounds like he's a good guy from what you described. Your daughter's fiercely loyal. She knows what happens when there's cheating going on, so, I also said goodbye to my son, his wife, and thanked them for their help. Gave my daughter in preparing for the wedding. I then gave my granddaughter a big hug and kiss on the forehead before leaving. So I returned home after knowing I had a lot to do in the coming weeks, as I had sold my house and found my dream bungalow in Cornwall, and the sale was due to complete in 3 weeks. Yeah, I remember I think early on you were thinking of Cornwall, or you're pretty sure about that. That's where you wanted to go, so cool. I've been to England. I spent a month in London in 2005, traveled about a bit. Never went to Cornwall, though. So I spent the time packing all I wanted and disposed of a lot of things I no longer wanted. While packing, I came across many memories of my life with my now ex-wife. Yeah, you can't spend 20 plus years with somebody and not have a shitload of memories. But it was the right thing to do to get out of there. There's too many memories in that house. Little things like trinkets I had purchased for her stuff in drawers and out-of-the-way places. Looking around, I could see what was once a happy home being dismantled, but I was so happy to be moving to my last place in Cornwall. Next 2 weeks went by fast, and before long, my daughter and her husband were home and came to see me. I had a week before I moved, and they promised to visit as often as they could. My son-in-law went into the shed and got some things I had promised him, and my daughter told me she was going to see her mom to give her a wedding album but no video. So your daughter kept her promise. She said, Mom, don't show up at the wedding, and maybe, we can have some connection, so she's going to do something for her. Because your son obviously is done with your ex for a long time, but your daughter was tough and harsh, but she wasn't completely heartless. So she explained it was not the same album that I had because she had changed it to only include one picture of me and her standing outside the church. She showed me the album and picture with a handwritten note under the picture saying my wonderful father and me who I love with all my heart. I said, wow, perhaps you should leave that out. And she said, no way. My mother is not in that picture for a very good reason, and I hope she realizes why at last. We then loaded her husband's car with tools and things that they could use in their house, and she said, I will see you in 2 days, and kissed me and left. With 5 days until the move, my daughter comes over and asked if everything is going according to plan. I said, yes. So far, so good. She then tells me she went to see her mother last evening to give her the album the first time, and it's the first time she's seen her since she recorded her, that time explaining her actions. She said her mother was shocked to see her, but pleased, saying she was so sorry for everything, and my daughter said, stop saying that, as you knew what you were doing, enough excuses, and she cut her off straight away and showed her the wedding ring and gave her the album. Yeah. The mom knew what she was doing all along during the cheating and everything like that. And I like how your daughter is no nonsense. Part 2 was the whole confrontation with the daughter and the mother, and she even recorded it, all the things she was saying and questions and all that. The daughter was brutal. As my ex-wife looked through the pictures, my daughter said she could see tears in her mother's eyes, and she asked why there was only one of her father in it. My daughter said to her, why would I put more of Dad in front of you? Dad was in many pictures, but I'll only include one of him. No point for you having more of him. I wanted you to see how proud I was of having my father give me away on my special day. She said the tears flowed, and she said, Mom, you do know I will never forgive you or trust you again for what you did to Dad, no matter how many tears you shed. When I said my vows that day, I meant every word, and the only reason I'm here is because you respected my wishes and stayed away on my wedding day. Well, it shows your daughter's integrity. Your daughter made the mom a promise, I believe, that you don't come to the wedding. Okay, we'll maintain a relationship, and I will, I guess, get you that album. So your daughter keeps her word. And if there's any remote silver lining to this whole thing, guys, is that the daughter and the son wants nothing to do with the mom, they now have seen what happens, the effect this had on the whole family. So obviously it's going to make them think twice about behaving in the same way. Instead, communicate to your spouse when there are problems and troubles and worries, and instead of just going off and hooking up with Tom. The album is a memory I will never forget, unlike you, of your wedding day. This day I will hold in my heart she's saying this to the mom. This day I will hold in my heart for the rest of my life, along with my vows to my husband, and I'll make sure to look at my wedding album as often as I can to smile and remember the most special day of my life and the love I feel towards my husband. Plus, I have the memory of you and what you did to make sure I never forget this special day and never make my husband doubt my love for him. Well, there you go. That will certainly do it. She turned to leave and said, Dad moves in 5 days to where he wants to be now. Leave him alone, Mom, okay? Good for her for saying that. Man, your daughter's protective of you. I hope Dad will enjoy his retirement and one day finds love again as he deserves to be loved faithfully. One step at a time. I think Dad needs to be single here. Him and his dog. I will visit you when and if I want to, and with that she left. I said, wow, you are brutal at times, daughter. And she looked up and said, yes, but not to someone I love and trust. And gave me a big hug, and then standing at the altar on the wedding day, saying my vows, I felt your pain, Dad, and it hit me how stupid Mom was to throw away true love and devotion it was all her doing. And then with a smile, she grabbed her husband's hand and said, see you on moving day, and left. Man, you deserve a drama-free story here, so good. I sat down thinking of my ex-wife and how my daughter left her in tears once again. One day I hope my daughter will be more friendly towards her mother. I know her mother loved her children, but I can't see it in her. It will take some time if we're able to return to what they once had between them. So even after all that, this guy kind of feels bad for, his ex, We can debate how we would feel in that situation, but it's his business and he is human. As for my son, he will never forgive her. Well, never say never. You can't say never in this lifetime. He has erased her from his life, and I feel she will never return to it. I can't influence their attitudes as they are adults now, and they decide what they want. Good. Don't influence their attitudes. They're grown-ass adults. Married. Your son is a father. Your daughter will probably soon become a mother. It's their business. They were both hurt, as I was with my ex-wife's attitude, not taking accountability in her lies. But hey, she's no longer in my life or my problem. Her choice is not mine. Life goes on, as they say, as I intend to live mine. Exactly. Life goes on, guys. We have hardships. We have major bumps in the road, but it doesn't rain every day. And we have to move on. That's all you can do. So on moving day, my son and daughter and whole family were there to see me off. I was following a big truck full of my belongings down to Cornwall with my ever-loving boxer dog who was also about to see his new home. Man's best friend. That dog will be loyal to you to the day you die or the day he goes. But we don't want to think about any of that. We arrived and the removal men unload everything into the new bungalow and nearly in position. I can sort it all later. It was a prime spot overlooking a rugged coastline with nice walks nearby for me. I settled in quickly, soon finding great walks and stunning views all around. Coastline, huh? That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on your new home. I've now been in Florida now for a year and for 13 and a half months. And aside from the fucking heat and humidity in July and August, and being on guard for hurricanes, I love it down here. About 4 weeks later, I had visitors. My son, his wife, and my lovely granddaughter came to stay for the weekend. My son took me out with his family to a restaurant he had found online, and we had a wonderful meal full of questions on how I'm doing. My son commented that I look happy and settled, to which I replied that I felt so much better being away from our old family home. Good. I knew getting out of there would help you. He then told me he'd passed our old home the other day, and the new owners had already put in a new brick driveway and changed the outside decor, along with a waste skip full of the old bathroom suite, whatever that means. I said, well, they owned it now, and they should change it how they want it. We had a great weekend, and I was thrilled with the visit. Yeah, people are going to buy a house, and they're going to change shit. I barely changed anything on the house I bought because the former owners were fantastic landscapers. 2 weeks later, it was my daughter who came to visit me, and again, a wonderful time, with all the walks by the beach and the same stunning views. I was now getting to be quite good in the kitchen, and my daughter was surprised and said, wow, Dad, you can actually cook. Which I laughed and said, yes. Have you ever met any lovely, she asked me if I met any lovely single ladies around on your walks yet. Of course, your daughter already has to get in a matchmaker mode. You've been married for 20 plus years. You need to be single for a while, getting used to your new life. And if you're obviously a relationship guy, meet a English lady in the countryside that catches your eye. Okay, great. There's no rush. No matchmaking, kids. I said, no, I wasn't even looking for any ladies. And she just laughed and said, well, I hope they spot you one day and they'll find a treasure in you. We laughed, and I said in no time they were also on their way. I never mentioned their mother to either of them, and they never mentioned her to me. I gave it all to my family, and now they were grown up and had their own lives as they wanted. But I was proud of both of them as they had values, and I was a very proud father wishing them well. That's great, man. They're great kids because you were a great father. So SSM, here I am in my retirement, enjoying my new home with my ever-faithful boxer dog, and I'm a happy chap. The local pub has no issue with me taking my dog inside, and I've met and chatted quite a bit to few locals who greet me warmly with a beer. I have a social life, you might say. Great. You're starting over. Guys, if you're listening to this and you're going through a divorce or major changes in your lives, you can do it. Ain't going to be easy for a while, but surround yourself with people who care, like this guy's kids. Take the leap. Relocate if you have to and start talking to people, making new friends. It can be done. My son and daughter talk to me at least twice a week and tell me what's going on in their lives, and I get updated on any new tricks my granddaughter is up to with future visits planned. So for any guys that are dealt a blow by a cheating ex-wife, your life goes on and you make it out on the other side. There are always memories that sometimes come to mind, but you can't hide 26 years of your life. It's not often I even think of her now, but of course some days the thought comes to my mind. Even seeing a happy couple strolling on the beach, you're going to remember the same thing. Yeah, man, you're human. 26 years of your life, that's like half your life. Of course you're going to think of things with your wife. I mean, every time you see your kids, you're going to see her, in them. I knew I couldn't get through a video that siren's coming by. So guys, as a parting word, never give in to infidelity of any kind, because if you do, it will repeat and take away your dignity and self-respect. Amen. Be strong to your beliefs and vows, but keep them peepers open for the unexpected as I did. I never thought in my life that my wife would cheat, but hey, some smooth-talking lowlife can turn your head on what you thought was a loving, loyal wife. That is if they allow it, and hopefully some women will shut down any approaches of that nature. But not all do, and we know that. Good luck to all, and may your life be good and healthy. Well, sir, I'm so glad that it was a drama-free wedding, and you've moved, and you're in a place you love. Now, guys, obviously this was a drama-free video. This guy deserves a little some happiness and no drama for once, so I'm happy for that. But for all you guys that were following it, wanting to know how this thing turned out, bottom line is this guy is having the beginning of his happy ending, and he deserves it, for goodness sake. So enjoy your new home with your trusty boxer. Have a good time with your new friends over at the pub. Enjoy your walks by the coastline. It sounds pretty awesome the way you're describing it, and take it one day at a time. And you'll enjoy many great visits with your kids and your granddaughter. And I'm sure there's going to be more grandchildren coming into this world pretty soon that you can have a great time with and spoil rotten and all that. So good for you, sir. So probably the last time I hear from you. And if it is, I wish you all the best. And I appreciate you taking the time to write in your story. I know it ain't easy writing it in and having to hear all that and comments. But I hope that the guy's been helpful to you, showing you support along the way. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you got a great story to share, definitely email me. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Give me time because I got a whole backlog of stories, but I'll get to it if it works. And this also includes any good news articles you might find, a question you may have about a situation that you're in, whatever. Send it my way, and if it works, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.